Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. So I have a lot. I did a lot this month. If you guys didn't know, I did Dry July this month. So I wasn't drinking and I felt like I was very productive. I've got a lot in store for you guys in the coming months, which I'm really excited about. And also I watched a lot of movies and I watched a lot of TV. So I'm just gonna get straight into it and let's start at Letterboxd. At the bottom, my name is Spooky Astronaut, no S. So on the 1st of July, I watched You Get Me, which is a Netflix movie, original movie. I was into this because I love the idea of stalkers. I'm really into that, like romantically getting stalked. I'm not into it personally for me, don't try it, but I do love the idea. I thought this movie was kind of cheesy but fun. I did give it 2 out of 5. It's not the greatest movie at all. It's a bit meh towards the end, but I like the idea. I would recommend it if you like that kind of cheesy stuff. I watched Dig Two Graves, which I was kind of off and on a fan of. It really reminded me of Fish, Salmon Like a Fish, the Lovely Bones. If you like Lovely Bones, you'll probably really dig that one. It's very similar, and it's also on Netflix. I then watched Ben, Diary of a Heroin Addict. It's actually a documentary. He's filming himself the whole time. It's very sad. It's just a guy who's addicted and it's his video diary and you just see his downfall. Very tragic and very confronting. I think I cried when I watched it. I then watched Okja. Oh my God, have you guys seen this movie? I think I might be a ghost now because I died when I was watching it. It is a Netflix original film. It has my love, Jake Gyllenhaal in it. This film is fucking tragic. It is about a big super pig type creature who lives in South Korea with his best friend, and then he's taken and, you know, they try and turn him into prize piggy. I don't even know what I want to say to you guys. I don't want to give it away. If you do watch the trailer, you know exactly what I mean. It was tragic and great at the same time, but it is not an easy watch at all. It is terrifying. It is emotional. I would recommend it though, highly. I then watched Cold Fish, which is a movie that I've been meaning to watch for years, and someone actually recommended it to me again, which I was like, okay, I've got to fucking see this. This is a Japanese film that is fucked up. My Disturbing Friends, you'll love this one. It is a movie about a family that own like a fish shop, like aquarium, and they get kind of mixed up with the wrong people and start like killing people and like learning about the trade of killing people. I don't know how to explain it. It's the weirdest situation you've ever seen in a movie, but it's very confronting and they're just like laughing, chopping up people. It's Asian horror at its finest. I did think it dragged a bit. It could have been more concise, but I would recommend it. I then watched Chinese Roulette. I don't know why I kept hearing about this movie, so I just watched it. And I believe it's a German film. It's about a couple who are both having affairs and they go to like their holiday house at the same time, and it's like an awkward encounter. It's not as awkward as you think it would be either. They kind of like just all spend the weekend together, and then their daughter, she goes there and fucks shit up. Wasn't as good as I hoped it would be, because I just heard that it was just a film you must see, but I don't know, I probably wouldn't recommend it to you guys, to be honest. I then watched Lavender, which I have done a review for. I then watched Trash Fire. I finally watched Trash Fire. I really like this film. I thought it was really cool. It's about a guy who goes to visit his family. He's like a strange family with his girlfriend, and this guy's like an arsehole. And through it all, you kind of find out why he's so fucked up, and you meet his sister who's like burnt to a crisp, and I don't know, it's just a weird ass movie, but I really enjoyed it and I think you guys would really like it. It's on Netflix. I don't want to ruin it. It's kind of everywhere, but it was very interesting and wasn't a dull moment in that film. Would recommend. I then watched Spookers, which I did a Come With Me review on. I then watched Midnight Special, finally. This I would say is definitely within the realms of like the OA kind of sitch. I'm sure you guys have heard of this film by now. I did like had rave reviews last year. But it is about a boy who's got special abilities and he's been like tracked down by a cult. But I don't know, it's like very OA angel situation, a guy from like another place and his powers and everyone trying to keep that under wraps. It was very sci-fi, fantasy meets reality, which I really like, that jarring type situation, just like the OA. If you like the OA, definitely check it out if you haven't. I then watched The Girl with All the Gifts, which I did a book versus movie review on. I then watched It Comes the Night, which I did a Come With Me review on. I then watched Prevenge, which I did a review on. And then I watched To the Bone, which is the Netflix original film about a girl who has anorexia, I would say, like an ED. And there was a lot of hype or like controversy in the media about this movie because they said that, you know, it was promoting or glamorizing EDs. I would definitely disagree after seeing the film. The film wasn't amazing. And it kind of just picks up at a weird point where it doesn't really introduce the characters or really completely introduce what she's doing. The movie is more about her own journey and her journey to, you know, recovery, which I really liked. And I thought that a lot of people in the media or whatever are trying to hype it up like a 13 Reasons Why situation, where it's not like that. The movie, if anything, is glamorizing recovery, which I really liked, and, you know, making all the quirky, cute characters at the recovery center, which would, if anything, urge kids to go to a recovery center. But I also think that this is a ED movie done right, because I've seen a lot of them done really wrong, and I didn't think that it caused as much harm as people did. Of course, things are always going to be triggering when they talk about certain subjects, but I thought it was good for what it was. I then watched Flatliners for the first time. Can you believe it? I gave it a 2.5, so a 5 out of 10. I really like the premise. I really love the aesthetic and the setup with like all the religious figures and like the afterlife type thing. Did feel like it kind of fell down a little bit in the middle, but I'm excited because then now when I watch the remake, I can kind of compare the two, but I'm glad I finally saw it. I then watched I Am Michael, which is a film that I talked about a couple of months, I don't know if it was last month or the month before. It is about the gay activist who turned into like a Christian, I don't know what actual religion, some form of Christianity, and like went from being with a partner to being straight. And yeah, it's a very emotional journey. It's got James Franco in it. It's also got Emma Roberts in it. It was exactly what I thought it would be, so I was really glad I watched it. That's also on Netflix. I would recommend checking it out if you're into that. It's obviously based on a true story, so if you like that kind of stuff and you're interested, it's really interesting to see things from other people's perspectives, and especially because you hear about the story and it sounds so jarring and so crazy and controversial. To see it kind of play out and how he gets from one place to another place was really interesting. I then watched #horror, and I watched this for my Patreons. I'm very sorry if you're a Patreon and you're watching. I'm sorry I put you through that. It was fucking awful. It's as awful as people say it is. It's actually unwatchable, so don't even bother. I then watched the New Zealand documentary Tickled. I think you guys will really get a kick out of this one. It is about the sport of tickling, not really a sport, but it's about a journalist in New Zealand who writes an article about that, and then he gets into some fire with people in America because of what he wrote. And then it's kind of like the spiral effect of that, which is really interesting. And I followed that by the update on that, which is the Tickle King. And the Tickle King actually, when the film showed at a festival, it shows footage of the guy who Tickled, the original movie was about. He actually went to this festival, and it shows him watching it and reacting to it. And he's not there because they've organized him to be there, let's say that. And it's kind of like a weird update to what happened after the film, which I really liked. I then watched the Beguiled. I think that's how I say it. I really wanted to watch the original first, but I ended up going to the cinema and just chose to watch this one. I thought it was great. I think you guys will really like it if you like a slow burn, and B, like a film that makes you like really uncomfortable. I thought this film was great, and especially Ali Fanning. I thought she was really creepy, and I don't know, it was just it was a sick film, and I really want to watch the original now. The film, if you don't know what it's about a soldier who runs into the wrong place, and there's like an all-girls school, and they're really young and they're really impressionable, and it's just like them like shit going wrong, and I don't know, it's just like a really simple story, but done in like a really cool, eerie way, and a really weird look into a psyche of a situation where you would never have thought that that would happen. I totally recommend it to you guys if it's in the cinema, but I really want to watch the original, and then maybe I'll do a comparison if you guys want to know down below. It's not really a horror, it's more like a thriller drama, but let me know. I then watched Wonder Woman. Oh my god, I am not one for the superhero movies, and not one for actions, but not one for superhero movies. But Dean and I really want to go to the movies, and I was like, I've heard really good things about it, and if I'm gonna see any superhero movie, normally it'd be Batman, but Wonder Woman is a good runner-up. Man, what a good movie! I fucking loved it. I gave it a 4-star out of 5, which is unheard of for like action movies for me. The acting was amazing, the casting was amazing. I love the balance of actual storyline and action, which is so fucking hard to find in a movie these days. And I love that everything was backed up and she was doing everything for a concise reason. It wasn't just like the baddies versus the goodies. Would recommend. Dean and I then watched The Boss Baby, which sometimes we like to watch, you like to watch kids movies. I like it sometimes. This movie wasn't that great, so would not recommend it. The animation was great. The storyline was kind of funny, but it just never really had enough jokes or just got there for me. I then watched Take Me, which is a Netflix original film that stars Taylor Schilling, I believe her name is, the chick from Orange is the New Black, and also stars and is directed by Pat Heaney, who I'm a huge fan of. I love cheap thrills and I love compliance, and this film was okay. It wasn't amazing. It did have a really good storyline. If you haven't heard about it, it is about a guy who has like a business that kidnaps people and kind of tortures them in a way to teach them a lesson, and that lesson is up to them or for pleasure or whatever. And he is contacted by a girl and offered a lot of money to kidnap her. And then when he kidnaps her, he realizes that maybe it's not the chick who he was meant to kidnap. Anyway, it's a really interesting premise. I wouldn't say it goes very far, but Pat Heaney is amazing. He does really well. This is like exactly what movies I think of when I think of him. Just really interesting storyline done really simply, like compliance or cheap thrills. So I'm really glad he directed this. I'm a huge fan of him. I can't wait to see what else he comes up with. I feel like we're just getting on like a good roll with him. I then watched A Ghost Story, which you guys, obviously you saw my review on that. Fucking loved it. One of the best films of the year. I then watched 7 Days and From a House on Willow Street. I'm not going to talk too much about them because my reviews will be out on them soon. And then I watched Logan, which once again, I had a little bit of a run-in with Wonder Woman that I really liked. So I thought, hey, I'm not a superhero fan, but I can deal with a lead that is Australian. I heard a lot of really good stuff about Logan. I might as well check it out. It was so dark and so brutal, and I just loved it. I thought it was really good. Really interesting. I did give it a 6 out of 10 or a 3 out of 5, just because I felt like it dragged more towards the end, but I really liked the characters. I thought the storyline was very concise and made sense, which sometimes the action films, you're like, what is going on? Thought it was really sad and really brutal, which if I'm gonna watch an action film, that's the action I wanna see. So out of this month, I definitely would recommend A Ghost Story, Wonder Woman, The Beguiled, if I'm saying that right, and I Am Michael, Prevenge. I watched a lot of good movies, Midnight Special, Trash Fire, Ultra. Yeah, that is definitely the movies I'd recommend. And for documentaries, I'd recommend Tickled and Ben, Diary of a Heroin Addict. Now for television, I watched 3 series this month. Let's start with Search Party. Wow. If you like girls, or I mean anything that really involves 20-year-olds who are like really up themselves, and like I love that kind of storyline, the easygoing storyline that also is like a reflection of our generation. Search Party is amazing. It is about a bunch of 20-something-year-olds who are very conceited, and all of a sudden someone that one of the girls used to know in high school goes missing, and she makes it her mission to find her. And it is a dark comedy at its best. It is funny, creepy, and awkward, and also really like complicated and in a good way. The episodes only go for 20 minutes each, and I'm pretty sure there's 10. So it's really easy to get through the season. I would really recommend it to you. If you're in Australia, it is on SBS On Demand, so you can watch it for free. If you guys do see Search Party, give it a shot. 20 minutes each, can't really go wrong. Would recommend. I then watched Handmaid's Tale. Fuck, this show is amazing. I am currently reading the book as well, but the TV show, it is flawless, like actually flawless. I actually had nightmares after watching this TV show. I thought it was so disturbing, and I'm sure you guys all have heard of this. It's been plastered across the internet everywhere, and the hype is real, the hype is worth it. The show is based on a book that is about women in the future who have kind of lost all of their rights, and they're kind of split up into different classes, and it's about a girl who is a handmaid, which is pretty much someone who is like a surrogate to the family. Really fucking confronting and weird, and people are being hung on the street, and it's a lot, and it's worth it. And I know it's really hard to get through, but it's a really, really good TV show that is so disturbing, and mainly disturbing because it's so realistic. If I was to give this show a rating out of 10, I would give it a 9. I fucking love it. Really recommend it. And then for something more lighthearted, Dean and I got into Bob's Burgers, which I love Gene. Gene is my favorite, I think. And I was almost gonna get a Pop Funko of him, but I don't think the Pop Funko does him justice. If you guys don't know what Bob's Burgers is, it is just a hilarious cartoon comedy about a family who run a burger joint, and the kids are just fucking out of control, so dirty, so weird, so wonderful, and I just laugh until I cry sometimes. The things that they say, they're such like a dysfunctional family, and everyone is so unique in their own ways. And I don't know, I really love it, and I would highly recommend it to you guys if you're looking for something easy to watch, especially with like your significant other or your friends. But I don't know, it's just like a nice bonding experience. Okay, favorite things of the month. I hit 7K this month. I can't even believe it, guys. Thank you so much. If you're new here, hello, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here as part of the Ghoul family. Guys, we have so much cool stuff in store, so just stick around, I promise. Also, I'm gonna be really lame and tell you to hit that notification bell thing. I never have said that before, by the way, just because I find a lot of comments saying, oh, you're back, but I never left. I've been doing 2 videos a week for the past nearly 2 years. So make sure you hit that and maybe you'll be notified, and that will help you. One thing I also wanted to give you a quick update on this month is I've been doing a lot more of You Now, which is a live streaming kind of program thing. So it's just a website, or you can have an app, and it's just an easier way for me to live stream instantly. And sometimes that carries through to my YouTube. So if you've seen me live lately, it's because I've been on You Now, and it goes straight to my YouTube. So you probably get, if you type anything, I won't respond and it will tell you to go to You Now. That's because I'm not actually live streaming on there. But check out You Now. I'll leave my link down below, and if you want to go and join that, I'm sure you'll get notifications when I'm live. It's just an easier way for me to pop up, and I can also guest people. So if people want to come chat with me, I can like pull them on really quickly, and we don't have to do, you know, Skype exchange, and I don't have to do the plugins and set up like a streaming separate party service and all that kind of stuff. So I've been trying to stay on that a little bit more often, just to be able to talk to you guys a little bit easier. And if you guys do like that, let me know, and I'll continue doing that. Another thing I want to share with you guys that I kind of like a merch kind of thing I got this month, well, Dean got it for me, is this vinyl. It is the Scream and Scream 2 soundtrack. I fucking love it. Isn't it beautiful? It is so pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually got some marbling. I really want to get the soundtrack now for A Ghost Story and It Follows, but can't go wrong here. Look at that artwork. It's beautiful. A book that I finished early this month was The Girl with All the Gifts. I did do a review on this, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I would recommend it. Really easy read, a lot better than the movie. And if you are into reading, I think that this one is a pretty solid thriller. I don't read a lot of books, so I wouldn't really know what to compare it to, but it was easy to read. And quite interesting. I listened to a new podcast this month. It's called Case File. It's actually an Australian podcast, and it is like a true crime podcast. He can be a little bit slow, but I really, really enjoy the detail he gets in the stories. It's actually amazing. How does he find out every single detail? Like, he talks about like people in like an Italian case and how everyone felt at the time, and he just does his research to a T. I would highly recommend it. Please check out Case File. My monthly mission, I'm actually gonna cheat a little bit because I just really wanna know what movies I should be looking out for. I've now seen A Ghost Story. I've got It to look forward to, but everything else, I'm like, what else is there to look forward to for the rest of the year? American Horror Story Cult, yes, but I haven't got anything else. If you guys have an anticipated film that's coming out towards the end of this year, or you know, for the rest of 2017, please let me know what you're looking forward to down below. I'm sure a lot of you guys will say It, but if there is anything else, please let me know down in the comments. I can't wait to read your responses, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Stay spooky, guys. Bye.